Hello there, Internet. MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And by the way, I say hello there, Internet, in case you're wondering. I got a lot of comments of people just going like, but what does he say in the intro? I have to know what he says in the intro. It doesn't make any sense. And yeah, I understand the severity of the question and, the urgence of the matter. So hopefully now you know what's up in that sense. I do speak a little bit fast in my intro, and I guess I don't pronounce things as rightfully as I should, but English is also not my main language, and I'm going to go ahead and use that as an excuse. Today we're going to feature It's a Cool Deck. Don't not subscribe, please. This is a mid-range ASHE list, and in my opinion, one of, if not the best variant of this archetype. You will not find a more fine-tuned of ASHE mid-range out there, and I can pretty much guarantee you that. Why is this variant so solid? Well, because your boy built it. So, humility, very important. And also, I put a lot of thought into this deck, and I've been testing it a lot, and I got a very, very nice live recording session for you guys today, and we're going to talk a little bit about why this deck is as strong as it can be, and why this particular variant patches up a lot of the original weaknesses the archetype may have. So, ASHE's Challengers, as I like to call it, ASHE Midrange, Freljord with Noxus, is an archetype that flourished a while back, I believe like a month or so ago, which relies on an early game comprised of Challenger units alongside Frostbite effects to capitalize on, our Challenger units. So with cards like Trifarian Glory Seeker and Rime Fang Wolf and all these, cheap Frostbite effects like Brittle Steel, health gain effects such as Elixir of Iron, and then Flash Freezes into Harsh Winds, we are able to pick off our opponent's board early on. Also thanks to stuff like the Iceveil Archer. On top of that, we're playing Legion Drummer, which is a 2 mana unit that gives quick attack to the unit that is supporting as she is attacking. Which means if we have Legion Drummer alongside Trifarian Glory Seeker, this is a dynamic duo that is a force to be reckoned with in the early stages of the game, as we're able to give Trifarian Glory Seeker, who has 5 attack and Challenger to begin with, quick attack, which just makes her, an absolute threat that can just pick off anything from the opponent's board in the early portions of the match. Alongside that, Elixir of Iron is really good with all these, low health units that we have early on, as we can survive, Mystic Shots, Vile Feast, or specific trades very, very effectively for just 1 mana. Great card from Freljord, by the way, especially, tempo-wise. As we curve out, we reach quite a plethora of 4-drops here. We have 3 copies of ASHE, and then we have 3 copies of Babbling Burk, and 3 copies of Trifarian Assessor. And I think this is really what tips this variant over the edge. And I'm not sure if I really used that expression properly, English, but whatever. The idea is ASHE Midrange, one of the biggest weaknesses the archetype has as a whole is that it runs out of gas relatively quickly. So by us running 3 copies of Babbling Burk and Trifarian Assessor, we have 6 dedicated cards for card draw. Also, in a pinch, Babbling Burk, after we played Avarice and Hearthguard, can potentially draw us a Trifarian Assessor and thus get a chain of card draw going on as well. Trifarian Assessor is an absolute unit in this deck. She is amazing because not only are we playing Avarice and Hearthguard alongside a full set of Omen Hawk as well, which will buff units in our decks and put them at 5 attack or more. Specifically, Avarice and Hearthguard or Omen Hawk into Trifarian Assessor puts her attack up to 5, which means she counts herself as she is, counting the amount of units that have 5 attack or more to draw cards, and that obviously means a big deal. Not only do we have that, we have 3 copies of ASHE, which has 5 attack, and 3 copies of Trifarian Glory Seeker, which has 5 attack as well for just 2 mana, which makes her super reliable in this deck and can often draw us between 2, 3, or 4 cards, which in Legends of Runeterra is massive, massive value because she has a pretty decent, below average, but still somewhat decent stat line for 4 mana herself. And therefore, we have a deck that is, pretty strong in the early game, a lot of high tempo plays, but also because of all of our Frostbite plays and all our combat tricks, we can run out of gas quickly. But then mid to late game that can reinvigorate our, options and basically fill up the gas that's been, consumed and keep it going as we aim to obliterate our opponent with ASHE. As we level up ASHE, enemies with 0 power can't block, which means all enemies that are frostbitten will not be able to block our attacks, and that's why we're also running a one-off of Katarina, which I feel really shines in matches that drag out a little bit more than expected. mid-range wars or control matchups as well, which tend to be the worst matchup for this deck. Katarina can really help in those scenarios, as multiple rally effects with a leveled up Ashe leads to pretty just awesomeness, just pure awesomeness really is the perfect way to label it. And that is the deck list right there. Very, very proud of this variant. Been, tweaking it quite a bit and have been having great success in ladder. If you want to reach Master's rank or just climb ranked with an Ashe deck because you really like Ashe, I highly suggest this deck list. You will not be disappointed. There's, barring, like, control matchups are really the worst matchups, but if you're running into a lot of Shadow Isles, fearsome decks, or, Demacia, Shen based builds, any sort of like unit based deck, our matchup is really solid. Our matchup against Fearsome and just Shadow Isles, Hecarim in general is actually really strong to begin with. Unless, we're facing an aggro deck, then, we need to mulligan for a bit of an early curve because they can kill us before, we get our stuff going on. But against mid-range Shadow Owls decks, we do really well, and that's why this deck really can shine in this meta. A pretty nice anti-meta option that is very competitive and has a good chance at winning against every deck in the meta. And that is where I'm going to stop this deck at. We've been rambling for quite a bit. Very proud of it. Very proud of the games that I got for you today. I think you guys will enjoy it. And that's all I gotta say. Have a solid day. Thank you guys for subscribing or supporting the channel. I've been receiving a lot of subs lately, and just it's been great. Like I've seen like all the supportive comments and all the love, and I really appreciate it. Hope you guys are excited for what's to come. Besides daily uploads, a podcast is in the works, and it's gonna be a weekly thing as well. And yeah, I'll stop talking. Have a solid day. Enjoy the games, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, so. Demacia Noxus. That's all right. I guess we're getting into this on a video. Okay, that's definitely not a region combination that I'm used to seeing, especially with only like Garen. That's really intriguing. I assume it could be some sort of like elite deck with rally effects, if I were to guess. Regardless, I'm only gonna away this Harsh Winds and Babbling Brook, and I'm gonna keep Ashe and Brittle Steel. Even though I am aiming to find some lower curve units, I think keeping Ashe is reasonable enough.
I'll write my own story.
Okay, so one drop right off the bat.
I'll do my best.
You can make an argument for mulliganing Ashe as well, to be honest, because you do want to keep up here. I'm gonna drop Legion Drummer.
We march as one, an unstoppable force.
We definitely keep the Brittle Steel in a matchup like this.
To the field.
Remember why we fight.
As we can use this as a way to pick off. I mean, we're pretty much, yeah, we're kind of telegraphing the fact that we have Brittle Steel, so there is an argument for us not attacking there. But I mean, then again, when we have more mana, we're gonna be threatening.
Charge! Defend the Empire.
We're gonna aim to eliminate that.
No regrets.
I'm worried about like a single combat, but that would still be a 2-for-1 trade. So I'm gonna drop the Rhyme Fang Wolf here.
Today we turn the tide of
All right,
war.
Redeemer. Now we have the Challenger alongside the Drummer, and we also have Ashe as well.
I will unite the Freljord.
Even though we lost backup from Brittle Steel because we used it earlier.
Ready for deployment.
I do like, okay, so this is gonna be Frostbitten. I can actually do this.
Show them the might of Noxus.
Even though this is gonna be Frostbitten, right? So I'd rather take you. Even though he could have a Radiant Strike. He could have a Radiant Strike. So instead I'm gonna get rid of you.
Show me a target. Stand strong.
Alright. That's pretty fair.
A noble end.
I could have also just dragged this to kill it and given Ashe quick attack.
For justice.
For Demacia. Alright, we're gonna drop you.
Knocked and ready.
Frostbite Garen there, prevent him from striking this turn. As we're gonna call that a turn, float this mana. As right now, I do just want to play another archer.
A true Freljordian welcome.
Target the Vanguard Redeemer. This way we can enable ASHE leveling up next turn. This will allow us to go for plus attack, deny him from blocking with all these. We don't have to target Garen because Garen is going to be the strongest unit anyway, so we're going to be frostbiting that. And we have more archers in the backup as well. We can threaten a very, very powerful attack here. My opponent's also very limited regarding mana.
Dangerous out there. Take this. Winter take you.
Avarosa, guide me!
Triple archer. Just triple archer. We're going in. We're going for the kill. My opponent is very, very low on mana. Like 4 mana to deny this is really harsh, especially when we have Brittle Steel.
Discipline and steel.
Yeah. So we can do this now.
As the arrow flies.
There we go. That was slick. That was slick. I mean, that's sort of like elite. I figured when I only saw Garen, I figured it would be an elite deck with some Noxious support, but mainly Demacia. But that type of deck, sorry, is very linear in the way it plays. It's pretty predictable. It's like a mid-rangey deck, but it's very creature-based, so there's not much surprise factor going on there, right? And such a unit-dependent deck is an excellent matchup for us as a Frostbite deck, as we can just, you know, win the trades and bypass the defenses as well with ASHE. So, you know, nice way to start things off. That's a good matchup for us. Let's see if we can run into some other not-so-favorable matchups and put them to work as well. Alright, so this is... I assume Smork? Just Smork with Hecarim, because why not? Hi, I am proper. Is our opponent. Now, I'm not so sure about the Trifarian Glory Seekers here. Hello there. The reason why is because I'm a little bit concerned about Vile Feast being a thing, but yeah, because he's definitely playing Vile Feast in this deck, right? So I'm going to drop these two. I'm going to keep one of them because I do want a 2-drop, guaranteed. But I would like to find...
No one's the wiser.
You know, Brittle Steels and stuff. Maybe I could have gone for a more aggressive mulligan considering the matchup that I was... Like, I may just go for a Cooling Strike here instead. I could very well just do that. Especially if I see an Elise, I 100% go for the Cooling Strike.
They'll never see it coming.
I won't stop this.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
We could flip the mana for Cooling Strike, but I want to play units on the curve here. I like seeing that Brittle Steel. Let's go Rhyme. That Brittle Steel is really, really neat.
You won't get past me.
For glory, face me!
Get rid of this.
Remember me.
I'm gonna hold on to my Rhyme Fang. And to my Brittle Steel. Like I'm gonna aim to use it defensively, even though I could prevent some damage here potentially.
People are my strength.
Alright. We can definitely just archer this.
Knocked and ready.
Mom Spaghetti. Just frostbite it. Prevent it from attacking.
From blood, glory.
Okay, Battle Bond could very easily be a thing.
If it's a fight they want.
I feel he attacked with this, which means he must have some sort of a way to buff it. So I'm just gonna threaten this double block. Prevent damage. Lose the Rhyme Fang.
Damn it!
Which is ultimately fine, because I can just drop you now.
I need just a moment.
Hope there's no Vile Feast. And threaten this again. Again, even though I have a Brittle Steel, I'm not rushing it. Ooh, that's tempting though. I could just go Trifarian Assessor here. But I also like the idea of double Glory Seeker into Rhyme Fang.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Yeah. I can threaten even more damage. I think this is correct. Yeah.
I'll cut them up. You're mine.
Oh wow. I thought he was waiting for me to attack there. All right.
Only the finest serve.
We're taking a big hit here.
Let's see what you've got.
Going down to 9. But dealing damage to this is very important. Now we have the Brittle Steel. Playing another Rhyme Fang here. That means you can still drop a Hecarim afterwards, so I'm gonna play you. Yeah.
Glory.
He's definitely gonna play another Hecarim after I do this, but getting the damage on him is very important.
There's nothing to fear.
Alright. That Harsh Winds is a nice top deck.
They will bleed for Noxus. I have my orders.
I want to eliminate this body first. I want to bait out that first with this Culling Strike. What I mean by that is like a combat trick.
So young.
But getting rid of her because she spawns an extra body. Can block here. If we see a brother's bond, here. I have to play around Brothers Bond. So the reason why I do this is because if he has any combat trick on this, I lose this body, like any sort of like buff there, and I need to threaten lethal next turn. This man just missed lethal.
I'll cut them apart. Face me.
What if he has a stun effect? Dude, GG. No, wait. Did he actually miss lethal? Wait. Let's calculate for a second. I was at 9 health. He had 1 attack. He had 1 attack for 3 damage. I was at 9 health, correct? So that means 6 damage. Yeah, the man missed lethal. The man actually missed lethal. He had to Mark of the Isles onto whatever, and then Brothers Bond. That's 7 damage. That's 1 over lethal. Like I knew that was a possibility, but I thought the risk of him just having Brothers Bond alone was more likely than him having Brothers Bond and Mark of the Isles. So if I wanted to win the game, I needed to preserve my blocker, my wolf, so that I could challenge and then threaten lethal with the wolf. The reason why, I mean, it didn't make much sense to challenge there with the wolf anyways, because if he has something like Vile Feast, but he could have like something else. Not sure. Regardless, yeah, my opponent just missed lethal, and I guess he was like pretty low ranked too. Like I guess I'm not here to bash, right? But you know, he missed lethal, very clear lethal too. I don't know. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so it seems we're facing Elusives now. And even though harsh winds are pretty reliable against Elusives, we actually want to do a full mulligan here, except for the Legion Drummer. Because we want to be fishing for challengers. There we go. This is a very, very neat opening hand. This is pretty solid. Lead off with the Hawk. No one drop from our opponent. But Legion Drummer into Trifarian Glory Seeker is exactly the kind of shit we want to see. Ooh, we got a beefier one.
The world awaits. Forward!
Forward! That's really interesting.
I need just a moment.
We're gonna threaten damage. We're gonna threaten the big boy damage. Because we have Brittle Steel backup. This is where this deck, this is the ideal early game for this deck. You know, these cards that I have right here, this is beautiful. This is actually beautiful. Our Legion Drummers with our Glory Seeker challengers, Omen Hawk lead. On top of that, all these Brittle Steels here. This is like, tempo-wise, this is just orgasmic, dude. Like, this is incredibly powerful. Right now, we're threatening 10 damage to the face. But if he plays a blocker, he's just gonna lose it 100%. Because not only do we have quick attack generation for our challenger, we also have Brittle Steel backup here. And we see a Will of Ionia.
For glory.
And we get 6 damage on him. 6 damage is a lot of damage.
Here's with me.
There's the Elusive. The fact that my opponent had to Will of Ionia so early on and just miss out on all the mana he was building up is huge.
First step's the hardest.
Oh. Oh, wow, that hurts. Oh my god, that actually hurts.
I keep step with the heartbeat of Noxus.
That hurts.
Full speed ahead. Get the drop on him.
I mean, I may as well
Defend the Empire.
just stop a blocker here. Just get rid of that. Oh jeez. Oh my lord. I'm not even gonna lie.
Requires a sharp blade.
I feel bad for my opponent right there. I feel really bad. He may just be. Is he dead here? He's close to dead, right?
Show them the might of Noxus.
Face me.
He's really close to
Cut them
dead.
apart.
Regardless, we attack like this. We give this the weaker Trifarian Glory Seeker quick attack. We eliminate that and we drop him down a tree. Oh my god, this is a beatdown. This is a beatdown. This feels kind of bad. Like uploaded this. Not even gonna lie. But then again, we're facing Elusive, so I'm not really feeling that bad at all. All right, Babbling Burke.
Tall as a mountain and
Covered in ice. Nobody believes him. Poor guy. All right. We get Avaros and Hearthguard right there. Trifarian Assessor, which will draw us 1 billion cards. Well, 2 cards specifically.
Extra hands.
I
Never
mean,
hurt.
he'll get the proc now. Yeah, there you go. Oh, he's playing the Aspiring Mentor with the Wayfinder. I don't agree with that at all.
Only the finest serve.
We're just gonna draw 2 cards.
Tread lightly, strike hard.
We don't mind this. Our Frostbites are really valuable here. So we may as well just float this mana. As we are threatening all kinds of lethal right now. Stack review.
Victory.
You're mine. For glory. Face me.
you gotta believe me.
Let's attack here. We're making good use of our challengers as we're threatening this pesky chump blocker here. And obviously we're threatening all sorts of lethal, right? Yeah, he needs, like, the thing is he needs to have another Will of Ionia first of all, and he doesn't want to Will of Ionia any of these. Yeah. Because if I get them back, I just draw more cards, right? I mean, he especially does not want to Will of Ionia the Trifarian Assessor there. That's what I really like about this deck. You know, we're a mid-range deck, but we have, because we go triple in with the Babbling Burk and the Assessor, we have so much card draw that it's just really solid. We're getting a pretty neat win streak here on video, but I gotta emphasize the fact that my second opponent missed lethal, and this guy got a little bit screwed with the Kinku Wayfinder. I mean, it's not the end of the world. He missed an Allegiance, you know. It's also like his deck is built a little bit differently, and it's more of a, like, we getting a really good early game, which is why this deck is built the way it is, right? Like, Legion Drummers with Brittle Steels and Trifarian Glory Seekers, like, that's what you want to see early on, because you just pick off your opponent's board, and it's absolutely glorious. All right. So this is Super JJ's infamous Shen Fiora mid-range list. Even though I uploaded a video with a very similar deck to this, like a few days before, so I'm going to go ahead and take all the credit for that. I'm going to drop Katarina, not really the matchup in which we truly want her. I'm going to drop Babbling Burk as well. Ashe is neat. Ashe is neat, but I'm also going to drop her. No, I'm going to keep her actually, because we're attacking second, so we do want a bit of an earlier curve going on, but when we're attacking second, keeping Ashe on curve is really neat. Alright, so we see the Green Glade Caretaker there. Very threatening unit.
Who would trespass here?
Talks like she's you know, high as fuck, which makes sense, you know, she lives in the woods, there's a lot of mushrooms there. I'm not gonna, you know, make any claims, but, you know.
The world awaits. Forward.
We're gonna play the Legion Drummer, we're not gonna waste the Iceville Archer in this particular scenario,
Got your back.
as that completely halts our attack. We pass, and we hope for the best here. We have another Archer, so if my opponent does play something, we can Archer them down. What I really don't want to see here is an open attack. An open attack would be awkward, but at the same time, ooh, I can Frostbite here. I want to play you. I can also wait. I mean, no, I'm gonna play you.
Knocked and ready.
Getting a nice body on the board is really solid. We do draw into a Culling Strike here. I think I want to play Ashe. Though Ashe is a little bit risky. I think maybe Trifarian Glory Seeker instead. Perhaps even Katarina. Let's play Katarina.
No going back.
Katarina is very interesting because Katarina can all of a sudden grant me multiple rallies, which is something that we can
Strength and grace.
really capitalize on here.
Quick as the blade. See ya.
Save my delay.
That's the
No one gets in my way.
That's neat. That works out really well for us. The opponent, you guys may be wondering, why didn't he target the Green Glade Caretaker? Because if I have any way to like buff up my Katarina, then he can lose this, right? So he was more willing to trade that in, but that opened up the Culling Strike play for us. So that worked out really well for us, even though that wasn't a bad play for my opponent. It just did not work out for him. Okay, Challenger goes down. Challenger goes down. What do we do here? I think we drop the biggest unit. I think we go Avaros and Hearthguard here.
Many tribes under one banner.
Because this stops him from attacking with anything else. We do lose the drummer by doing this, but we prevent a stronger attack going on. Even though we could have played some mind games on him as well, right?
Victory requires a sharp blade.
I'm gonna play the Glory Seeker. I really this is gonna be a really interesting mid-range war here. I have to play as optimal as I can. I think dropping this is where Legends of Runeterra gets super fascinating to me. Like these sort of mid-range battles.
Order rewards its fate.
This matchup is super interesting, and unless I'm like fully focused and I know what I make all the right calls, like it's very easy for me to misplay this. It's very easy to misplay this game. He's got 4 mana. That means he still has a potential berry generation. Do I drop the Trifaring Assessor now is the question. We have no Frostbite backup, so playing ASHE is reckless. Playing ASHE doesn't really accomplish much here at all. I think card draw is the best. Drawing 2 cards off of this goes a long way. We could get a bit more greedy with it, but I just don't think we're going to have a better chance than this.
Only the finest serve.
Yeah, stuff like Elixir of Iron, stuff like that is really neat. We could go for an attack here, but again, we're playing into his barrier, so we pass. Harsh Winds are very, very powerful resources for us. We also have to keep in mind the potential of a Relentless Pursuit. Alright. I think I want to Harsh Winds here because I want to set up an ASHE Katarina combo here.
Night falls.
Honor guide me.
I'll protect the villages.
We eliminate one of the challengers there. We weakened the Boar State. I think that's a good play there for us. Next turn, I'm going to have a total of 8 mana, potentially 9. With 9, I can do quite a bit, but not nearly as much. I'm going to drop the Omen Hawk here. Should I drop the Omen Hawk? I don't think I should, actually. Never mind. I'm going to pass. I'm going to float this mana. I'm going to float this mana instead. It's not so much about stats here. It's about getting the right hit. 9 mana, which means I can't do this and that.
All the world on one arrow.
We're gonna play ASHE. Okay, we had a mild disconnect there, I think.
My shield is yours.
A true Freljordian welcome.
Frostbite that.
I'm actually here. Swiftly now. I'll cut them apart. You're mine.
Watch and learn.
I'll lead us to victory.
The reason why I'm challenging the 3-2 is because I have this, right? So even if he has a pummel on this, I can survive with sorry, a pummel, like the yeah, like right now I'm threatening lethal. Even if he does have a the 4 mana shield play that gives +3 attack. I keep forgetting the name. Fiora's signature spell, basically.
I'm ready.
This is really strong now with Katarina here in the back. This is really strong here.
Stay back.
Okay,
Cannot escape.
that's completely fine. We let that happen.
Press on.
Shadow.
Nature blesses flowers.
We clear a good portion of his board here.
Smell that?
A fight's a cooking. And we're gonna call that a turn as we float this mana. We make sure we can block her. We have the crystal arrow as well. If my opponent plays more into this, I think I will go for the crystal arrow. Because we have Katarina here. We have Katarina. This is where Katarina shines. This is why I have Katarina in this deck as a one-off. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. This is absolutely massive.
Be Demacia.
Let the bloodshed.
We still have, because of the fact that we floated all the mana, we can do this and Harsh Winds as well. Now we play Katarina. Now we're done playing fair. We still have the Harsh Winds because he can still buff these units up again. He's running. He's got as much mana as I do, and this is where Katarina just loves playing dirty, man. He's feeling the pressure. He's feeling the pressure. I love these mid-range mind games. These mid-range wars in Runeterra are so damn tight. And I've misplayed a lot of these, especially this matchup against Shen. When I've been practicing with this deck, I've lost a lot of games because I rushed into my plays. They are super complex. They're really, really, really complex. You have to think far up ahead.
Into the face. Eat up, friend.
All right, he's buffing that. We take it.
Show me a target.
And now we go for the attack. We're gonna be frostbiting this. He needs to buff something to get it up, but we have harsh winds on top of that. Let's go. You first, Katarina. We need to have the harsh winds back up because we could see something like you know, or that's fine. That's completely fine. Katarina comes back, and we don't let him breathe. We don't let him breathe. This is why I play this card in this deck. People always question it. Why are you playing Katarina in an Ashe deck? This is why, ladies and gentlemen. This is why. She's not as efficient all the time compared to the stunned Katarina deck. Good game, buddy. Hey! There we go. There we go. Fuck yeah. Nice. That was a good match. I love that I get to showcase Katarina too. I love that. As we do some solid climbing in today's live recording, just a full-on win streak, even though, again, our second opponent missed lethal. And the third game was really good for us, but it really showcases the potential of this deck, and I'm so happy that I showcased why I run Katarina, right? I only play her as a one-off because unlike the stun variant of the deck, or the stun variant, it's not a variant of this deck, it's just a different deck. The Katarina stun deck, in which, because she's more devastating with stuns and with Fae Blade Twirlers. In this deck, Katarina only really becomes deadly when you level up Ashe, right? If you don't, she's decent, but she's not, you know, as incredible, right? So that's why I think her as a one-off is the right amount in this deck. But in matchups in which, you know, we get to drag them out a little bit and Ashe is leveled up, she is devastating. And you can even make an argument for running two of her, especially after you guys saw how good she was that game, right? But I'm really happy how I played the one, because like I said, that matchup is super even. Like, it's really about thinking far up ahead, resource management, making really good use of your frostbites, not rushing your frostbites in. They are extremely valuable. And cards like the Rhymefang Wolf really shine in the Fiora Shen matchup as well, because even if they barrier a unit, if it has 0 attack, Rhymefang Wolf still kills it, right? So it's a very, very star card that we actually didn't draw in that particular game. And yeah, I just love the triple Babbling Brook, triple Assessor package, because this allows us to just not run out of gas, right? Which is one of the main weaknesses a deck like this can have. So just a big fan of this deck. And I'm really happy that I got to showcase it properly in today's video. So leave a like for some Ashe games. Hope you guys enjoyed the videos, and hope you guys are appreciating the daily uploads. Stay tuned, because, you know, daily uploads are still going to be coming. But on top of that, I'm going to be I'm going to be recording a podcast, Progress Day, with, you know, it's going to be a weekly series with my friends Merchant and Panda, and I'm really excited about that. We're going to be rambling about Runeterra for like over an hour, so hopefully you guys are up for that. And that's all I got to say. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the games. Have a swell day. I'll see you tomorrow.